History with the Freeborn County Historical Museum, Library, and Village. I'm Stephanie Kibler, and joining me today is Michael Lilienthal and Risha Lilienthal. Risha's our curator, Michael's our guest, and I'm the director. Michael has a podcast called Michael and Ethan in a Room with Scotch.
You got it.
So today we're doing Michael and Stephanie and Risha in a museum with Scotch. And I'm a little frightened because it's a lot of Scotch. And then I got a little something happening over here, so this might be a long afternoon.
It's a party.
It's a party. It's a party. And so I'm just turning this over to Michael, and then Risha and I will probably just chime in because that tends to be what we do.
Well, I'm not an expert on Scotch in any capacity, but I am an appreciator of Scotch, and so I brought from my shelf at home a selection of different kinds, because I know you've said that you aren't a fan of Scotch, and so I'm going to try to change that. And by the end of this, we'll get
by the time we finish the last drop, Stephanie's going to love Scotch.
Yes. Well, we've kind of arranged these by color from lightest to darkest. That's one way that you can do it and go through different kinds of Scotch. But there are essentially 3 different varieties of Scotch. They're all made from malted barley, but depending on the region of Scotland, you get different kinds, and they all have different sorts of flavor profiles. You've got your Highland Scotches, which are probably the most approachable kind, and then you've got your Speysides. I've got one of those here in the Shield Egg. And then you've got your Islas, and I don't have any Islas with me, but that's what you would think of as your really peated, smoky Scotch is going to be an Isla. And Ethan, who's on the podcast, would almost always choose an Isla over anything else.
Okay.
He's very fond of the peat. And that used to be characteristic, as I understand it, of Scotch, too, that it was always smoked with peat because the island... their islands and a lot of the highlands there are covered in peat.
So that must have a stronger flavor than, okay.
Yes, very strong, very smoky.
Okay.
They don't exclusively smoke it with peat anymore, depending on the distillery. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm curious because everybody talks about like a blended malt or a malt, a single malt.
Yep.
So what's...
All of these are single malts with the exception of the Monkey Shoulder, that's a blend. And the distinction there is you get different vats that if they're left alone, that's a single malt.
Okay.
But then you blend them together and you get a blended Scotch.
Okay. So it's kind of like when you go and you buy a Cabernet or you buy a red blend.
Right. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. It's essentially
Makes
the
sense.
same.
Makes
same
sense.
thing. Yeah. But what they say is 70% of the flavor of Scotch comes from the wood that it's casked in, and that's the last step of the Scotch. Is they'll put it in a barrel to age for some amount of time, and depending on how long it is, that's the numbers that you'll see. So we've got the Glenmorangie here as a 10, so it aged 10 years in bourbon casks.
Oh, say that one piques my curiosity.
And then we've got like this Shield Egg, which was aged 12 years, and I don't know if it says very clearly what sorts of barrels it was aged in, but that's something that makes Scotch, for instance, different from bourbon. Bourbon has to be casked in new barrels that have never been used. Scotch loves to sample and loves to pull flavors from all kinds of different things. So you can have sherry casks, whiskey casks, bourbon casks, brandy casks, all kinds of different casks that are used by Scotch, and then they'll pull from the wood, pull the other flavors from there, and that fills it out. It'll change the color, all from where it's casked. So that's like the key feature.
I do like that the bourbon cask gets used across the board of different liquors or wines. A lot of new wines coming out now are aged in a bourbon barrel, which I think is really fun. That's cool. So I'm curious. Now that's piqued my curiosity.
Well, good. Well, you want to try the Glenmorangie? This is the most common Scotch in Scotland.
Okay.
This is the kind that they will drink.
Terrified, but okay.
For a dram, at a pub in Scotland, most likely you're gonna have Glenmorangie.
She's like, wait a minute, what?
A little
So
bit.
I have to tell you, the last time somebody lined up things and gave me, the little sips,
Mm-hmm.
I was out with my daughter in the North Loop at Parlor, and they caught up with me
Yeah,
really fast.
they can do that. Yeah, yeah.
This smells good. I can smell this even
Mhm.
just. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yep.
Terrified. I'm afraid I'm gonna be like that.
I think I've had this from you before.
You probably have.
I like this one.
Yeah, this is nice. It's a young Scotch. Anything 10 and under is
This
fairly
is not my thing.
very.
Wow.
There's a lot more of the alcohol-y flavor
Yeah.
to a younger Scotch that way.
It's got like the burning into your stomach.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
my stomach. I got it right here.
Yep.
It's just sitting right here.
One of the ways to cut into it is with water. So if you hear snobs talk about drinking Scotch, it's you get neat Scotch and then put 2 drops of water in that. And the reason for that, you can
Can
kind
I
of
do
see it if
that?
you hold it up. It gets legs in there. You can see it kind of waving around. The
Okay.
water just kind of cuts into the alcohol a little bit, opens up the flavor a little
I
more.
did more than 2 drops.
That's okay. So you do get a little bit of a different flavor out of it.
Well,
when
and
you add a
it
little
even
water.
dulls the scent a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Were you looking at the legs from below?
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh my.
And you get a little bit of a different flavor out of that.
You definitely do.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely makes it smoother.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That one's making my nose run.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do this one. This is the Glenlivet Nadora. We'll save that one. That's what makes it Nadora is it is full cask strength. It's bottled at cask strength.
Can I smell it?
Yes. So
That
if
piques my-
this one makes your nose burn, this one is definitely gonna make your nose burn.
No, it made my nose run, not burn.
Oh, okay, whatever.
That one smells a little smoother than that.
In general, the taste is smoother,
Yeah.
but it is very harsh flavor to the Scotch.
Put that one over here. That one might come at the end of the
There you go.
program.
There you go. We'll save that one. Save that one for the end. That one's the dangerous one.
Ooh.
Okay, water makes it better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you often put Scotch on ice, or is it usually neat?
Typically, it's neat.
Okay.
Think about the region of the world that it comes from, and how would they like to drink something. They're not going to want to put a lot of ice in their drinks.
Why? Let me channel Aaron for a minute. Why not?
Yeah, it's very, very dreary and cold in Scotland. So you
All right.
want something that's going to warm your bones up.
Survived that one.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. The next one I've got here is the Monkey Shoulder. It's the blended single malt Scotch, and this is from Speyside batches. This one, the Glenmorangie, is a Highland. Now we've got some Speyside blends.
Is that what this one was also?
That is also a Highland.
Okay.
Yeah, the Glenlivet. Yeah,
I'm
like I said, I
listening.
don't have any Islas, but this is one. So, whiskey purists, Scotch purists, will say if you make a cocktail with Scotch, it's got to be a blended Scotch, not a
Okay.
single malt. And the reason for that is single malts tend not to play nicely with others, but you blend it and that broadens it out a little bit more. It's easier to mix with a blend. But there are certainly good cocktails out there that exist that you can use
So
single malts for.
do you drink Scotch cocktails, or do you just sip your Scotch?
I tend just to sip it. Like I said, these are all from my shelf at home. These have
Sure.
lasted for quite a while because I just sip them.
Sip, don't sip.
Is
Yep.
there something sweet in this one?
It's-
Yes, you'll notice something sweet in here. This one actually does have some tasting notes on the back, so you can give you a little bit of a hint. The taste is mellow vanilla with spicy
I could
hints.
Vanilla.
smell the vanilla.
On the nose, there's zesty orange, vanilla honey, and spiced oak.
I don't smell that. So is okay.
The
Wait,
spiced
now
oak is probably
blended.
referring to the
Blended, you make a
barrel.
drink with. Is this a
Right.
blended?
That's a blended, yep.
Okay.
Like sticks
I'm
in
making
my
a
tongue.
note because I want to mix a drink, so we can each take a
Well,
sip
there you
of the
go.
drink. And
You
I
do
think
the monkey shoulder. That's
going,
the easiest to mix.
I'm doing I'm doing the Silent Third.
Silent Third. I don't know if I've heard of that.
Ooh.
Okay. Wow.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Because I just was doing some research when we were going to do this, 2 weeks ago and then 4 weeks ago, and Stephanie kept canceling because I had an excuse, but I think it was my fear of Scotch. The Water of Life.
Ah, yes.
The first written mention of Scotch whiskey is in the Exchequer Rolls of Scotland, 1495. A friar named John Core was the distiller at Lindores Abbey in the Kingdom of Fife. I had never heard of the Exchequer Rolls, so I had to look that up. And I looked up the pronunciation.
Ah.
Pipe rolls are the annual financial records of the crown. They are the written record maintained by the Exchequer of the audit process of the monarchy's accounts for one financial year. The earliest surviving pipe roll covers 1129 to 1130 financial year. And I thought that's really cool. But apparently Scotch is referred to as the water of life.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what I've heard before. I'm not entirely sure why.
No, and for some reason that was the description it gave.
Reinvigorates.
Yeah, it enlivens
I don't
you.
know.
Yeah.
But the first written mention is 1495. That's probably one of the earliest. That's about milk punch time, wasn't it? Didn't milk
yes,
punch
I
date
think
back
so.
to?
Yep.
Oh, I'm way behind because I'm talking. They finished. My bad.
No worries. The next one I have here is the Shield Egg, and I think I'm pronouncing that right. It might be Shielda. The G might be silent. I'm not entirely sure. So I apologize to anybody who knows the Celtic pronunciation. But this one's interesting. From the Loch of the Herring, the fishermen, traders, and travelers who have inhabited Shield Egg, the Loch of the Herring, over the centuries have rightly considered themselves lucky in life. A taste of this good fortune can still be enjoyed today with every measure of Shield Egg fine Scotch whiskey.
I love it.
It's bordering a loch there. Which, I mean, that makes sense for distilleries to
Nessie?
use. No, not that loch. That's Loch Ness.
Just so you know, it is okay to mispronounce this.
It is.
We're good at
We do
that.
it often.
We're good at that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I'm just part of the tradition.
Yep.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
one
Oh,
of
I
us.
should. So there's a typical salute for drinks in Scotland, and
Okay.
it's sláinte.
Which means what?
I think it means life. I think it's actually
She's
Irish,
trying to
but you don't have to. I'm not holding the glass any particular way. Just
Sorry.
Let me
sláinte.
be a little sister.
Sláinte.
Sláinte.
Yeah.
Huh. I'll use that at my neck. Ooh, this smells. I don't know why, but I smell dill pickle.
Okay. Sure.
Oh, that's interesting.
There's
That's
some
smoother.
grassiness to it.
It's smoother.
Maybe that's what it is.
Vegetation in this one. Yeah. But yes, this one is much smoother.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't have quite the. This one has more flavor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that comes from part of the blending too. They've got a bunch of different
Because this one's single.
flavors now. And yep, this one's a
Okay.
single malt.
Oh, I see.
Yep. Yeah, this is the only blend, the Monkey Shoulder, that I have here. But if you get like a Johnny Walker, that's going to be a blend. A lot of those ones that you see on the shelf are
I'm not a
blends.
Johnny Walker fan. I'm not a Scotch fan, so I don't know.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I did kind of like that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that one definitely has a earth tone to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like chewing on grass.
Like chewing on grass.
I opened a bottle of wine a couple weeks ago, and all I could smell was grass.
Oh, sure.
And it's
That's
like,
fun.
ooh, no, it's not really.
No.
It's hard to. It's because the first thing you taste then is grass.
Sure.
It's like,
I like when at least the Scotch that I have has the like earthy vegetation flavors to them.
I'm more of a berry, chocolate,
Sure.
coffee flavor.
Sure.
Like floral.
Well,
Floral sometimes.
we'll have to see what you think of the Glendronach next. That one you might like. We'll see.
So okay, I have a map here.
Yeah.
Is this a place that any of these come from?
Oh, I don't actually know for sure. But I mean, you've got Isla here.
Okay.
So that's oh yes, and Jura is a Scotch that I know of. I'm trying to think. I'm not terribly good at looking at a map and noticing
fair.
where my
That's fair.
Scotches come from.
So, Risha,
What?
why do you have a map with a circle?
I have the McAllister homeland. You cannot see it from there, but I'm gonna hold it up anyways. It's got a little circle dotted outline here. It's very much islands that are on kind of the southern side of Scotland, and I have that because we recently got in a whole bunch of these binders, and it has this tartan on it. Which,
Tartan? Is that how you pronounce it? Not tartan?
Oh, maybe I pronounced
think
it wrong.
it's
Is it tartan? Okay, tartan.
See, we do this all
See
the
that
time.
on it, which is the McAllister tartan,
Oh.
and that is this one is specifically Sean McAllister, and this is a whole binder on this one person and their geology.
So he immigrated from there and ended up here?
Well,
or not he, but his ancestors
yes,
from
so-
there ended up here.
So they immigrated from Scotland, but it looks like they stopped in Ireland before hopping over. So they're very much Scotch Irish. It's McAllister is a Northern Irish and Scottish surname, derived from the Gaelic Mac Alistair, meaning son of Alistair. But it's also Alistair is a Gaelic form of Alexander. So that's kind of how that goes
Well, there
up
you
and
go.
up and up. And yeah, it looks like they moved to that northern island of Ireland, well, Northern Ireland, and then hopped over here to Freeborn County.
And you were hoping that they were Scotch producers?
No, I just was like Scotland, you know,
Sure.
it's a connection to Freeborn County in Scotland.
Have you read much about him?
Not too
Just
much.
him?
I know that there are some things in here about Albert Lee and the
fun.
connection, like there's a bakery that's connected, a livery, see, words. And there's a lot of, oh yeah, see the livery. Livery. There's stuff about fires, there's like tragic deaths in there too. I'm like, oh my
interesting.
gosh. Yeah.
Lots
So
of
it's-
tragedy in the McAllisters. Like the
Right.
one that got left home in Chicago when his family went on Christmas vacation.
Oh my god, that took me a minute. I'm like,
I know, it had me going. I was like,
what? I went to is that the one who kicked the cow who kicked the wait a minute, where are we?
No, we have like about 8.
Poor Kevin McAllister.
We have about 8 of those binders of like
Fun.
different people and their geology and connection to that family in Freeborn County. Yeah, it's really neat.
So that's another one. We're working on scanning things in
Yeah.
so that they're more accessible and searchable. Some of that would not be searchable, but
No.
it's been really fun because I've scanned a few things in as we're, working in the library
Yeah.
more, and I can like just throw a weird word out and it pulls up all this,
I will say
like livery.
there are 2 immigrants from Scotland, both named Thomas. One was Wilson and one was Purdy, and they were both in the late 1800s. They both ended up being county commissioners,
Oh,
and
funny.
they were both from Scotland. Yeah.
Those Scots.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, talk to me about this one.
This is the Glendronach, 12 years old. This one also has some notes on it. So appearance is a deep amber red gold. You can
Which
see
is
that.
pretty.
Very pretty. On the nose, sweet, creamy vanilla with hints of ginger and autumn fruits. So,
Okay, I can smell the
You get some
fruit
of
and
that,
I can
yeah.
smell the vanilla. I don't smell ginger.
okay.
All right. That's what I was just wondering.
Yeah.
I was looking for the ginger.
I think it's subtly there, just in a little bit of a kick.
It
little bit of
tasted a
bite,
little bit.
so-
It feels autumn though.
Yeah.
I can
So
feel the
on the
autumn.
palate, rich, creamy, silky smooth, warm, rich oak and sherry sweetness, a full mouthfeel, raisins, soft fruits, spicy with medium length and a dry finish. And on the finish is
Yeah.
long, full, and firm, slightly nutty.
Oh, yeah.
Lots
yeah,
of detail
I
to
get
this
that.
one. So.
Cause like the other ones left my tongue with like a little bit of that burn,
Mhm.
and this one definitely has that dry
Yep.
coming through.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the term for it? But it's like you take a tea bag of tea, stick that on your tongue. It's that sort of feel.
Oh.
I forget what that's called. There's a
I
name
didn't
for
know
it.
that was a thing.
Nope.
Yep. It's a tasting thing that I've heard about.
So like a tasting thing, like if you like for a
For a
liquor
flavor
or wine
profile.
taste. Okay, I've seen that. Smell the herbs
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yep.
tea bag on your tongue.
Yep.
You learned it here, folks.
There you go. But yeah, this one's a lot sweeter and richer.
I joke often, and my friends tease me a lot that I'm a professional drinker.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
Well, for the podcast that I do, Michael and Ethan in a room with Scotch, how we format it is one or the other of us picks a Scotch, whoever's going to be hosting the episode, and that's the Scotch that we drink for the episode while we're talking about books. And we don't talk about the Scotch until we get to the end.
I do have notes on prohibition if we want to get to that.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pour the
Yes.
Balvenie here.
So,
In slide this.
in 1920, so I've got a little tidbit here before moving on to any Freeborn County connection. Prohibition was introduced in the United States. Whiskey was exempt as long as it was prescribed by a doctor for medicinal purposes. And so there are some famous faces behind this. This wasn't the United States; it was in England, or the UK. Was Winston Churchill. So I have printed on here a little.
Did he like whiskey?
Oh, there's a little note from his doctor I have printed. This is 1932, so before like World War II or anything. This is to certify that the post-accident convalescence of the Honorable Winston S. Churchill necessitates the use of alcoholic spirits, especially at mealtimes. The quantity is naturally indefinite.
Naturally.
But the minimum requirements would be 250 cubic centimeters. And it's signed by his doctor.
So, I need a copy of that so I can tweak that and hand it to Pete and replace whiskey with bourbon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, necessitates.
Necessitates.
Yes.
And the quantity is,
At least 250 centimeters, but naturally indefinite.
yes, I need that.
Yeah.
That's good. So this one's the Balvenie.
Ooh, this
12
smells
years
nice.
old.
I do like
This is
Mm.
double wood. That means it's matured in 2 distinct casks. And it gives some details on the back here as well. Double wood, okay, there's sherry casks. I forget.
Didn't you say it was single malt?
It is single malt, but matured in multiple casks.
Oh.
So the malting process that's where they smoke it.
Okay.
So they harvest the barley, soak it in water, let it dry flat on the floor, and while it's doing that, it germinates, and then they smoke it. And so that batch that gets smoked is the malted barley.
Interesting.
Oh, I like this.
I do like this one.
Owned by the same independent family for 5 generations. Nowhere else will you find a distillery that grows its own barley, that still malts in its own traditional floor maltings, that still has coopers to tend the casks, and coppersmith to tend the stills.
Ooh, that's fun.
Traditional.
I like that.
Yeah, I actually like this one.
You like this one? There you go.
Woo!
See, I told you by the end.
He did it.
Here you go.
And
Yes,
it might just
Balvenie
be
is
that
a
I've
very
had
good one.
4.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that doesn't hurt. But,
I have a group of past coworkers, and we used to do a Long Island iced tea party. And I can tell you, the first one tasted awful because we could never mix it right. The second wasn't too bad. The third, man, by the fourth, they were spot on excellent.
good, yeah. Well, there you go.
I kind of feel that might be where I'm at.
Yeah. Sweet spot.
Oh dear.
Gosh, we're having a reunion in a week. Maybe I should bring Long Island iced teas.
Should.
Yeah. Yeah.
But prohibition.
Sorry.
Tell us more.
We digressed.
So I do have a collection item. Actually, Erin, do you want to pop and like zoom it up on?
Do you want to pop and zoom?
No. You come here.
Be Vanna.
Put the glove on.
Do that because we have it here. It is a collection item.
Blow a little air in there.
She's. I know. I gave you the small one.
Give her
I'm
a small
sorry.
glove. You can do it with just
Sorry.
one glove. You
Yeah,
can
you can do it with
hold
one.
with just. Okay, she's
Okay,
afraid.
okay,
Oh,
okay,
she's
good.
No, that's too
afraid.
much
She's
pressure.
scared.
Okay.
Because it's just got such really cool detail on it. I really want to zoom it up on you.
Ooh, that did zoom nice.
Mm.
Yeah. So that is from our Catherine Claiborne.
It's like we're
collection.
talking to a bottle. Michael's now gone, and we're just talking to the bottle.
That happens after enough scotch.
But on that one, it does say it's for medicinal purposes only. Sale or use for other purposes will cause heavy penalties to be inflicted.
The bottle is beautiful. As she's
Yes.
turning that, it's catching the light from the window.
Oh, it's
That's
gorgeous.
a really pretty
It's a
piece.
gorgeous bottle. And a lot of old whiskey bottles do have that kind of webbing design, especially with a spider on it. And so this is whiskey. It's not a Scotch bottle.
Sure.
It's made in Kentucky. But
Which is where they make whiskey.
sometimes. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yes.
I'm just-
Get your hands. Put your hands away now.
But we have a lot of items from the Claiborne collection. She was very much a historian.
So, do we have this on display?
No,
No.
this is from our storage. I popped it
Okay.
out of a box from our collections one storage.
I am incredibly impressed that you could go on to Past Perfect,
Well,
type in what you're looking for, go to a box, and pull something out.
it's like I've been working on
And
that for 4 years.
4 years. Yes, that's where I'm going with this. For
Yes.
4 years. And it paid off with
It
a
did.
whiskey
It's
bottle.
a gorgeous whiskey
Mhm.
bottle. But again, that webbing inspired design being on a lot of old whiskey bottles. If you've ever heard of having a spider shot at a bar,
I have not.
it's when there's not enough liquid in the bottom of a bottle.
Not the bottle of a bottom?
Yes. To actually have a full shot, you get the spider shot, which usually is just you get it for free because there's not enough.
I call that the Stephanie shot.
But they did that because they're like you could see a spider at the bottom of the bottle.
Oh, cool.
Like
Okay.
a spider had made like
I
its
thought-
home in a
Oh,
It's
bottle.
like, you know,
Cool.
it's not enough to kill a spider.
Oh, dear.
Is it like the tequila worm?
Yeah. Tequila worm.
I feel that's a fair question. I really do. Have you ever eaten a tequila worm?
No.
Me either.
Oh, good.
You thought I was going to brag about it, didn't you?
Well, there's something about snakes being in bottles too, isn't there?
I don't
Snake.
know. Never
Are you
heard
thinking
that.
of snake oil?
No.
I could sell you some. I got some in my trunk.
Ooh.
Got some snake oil.
So while you're still on
Yes.
prohibition,
Yes.
while you're kind of on
I
prohibition,
have more too.
well, I just want to share because I'm really excited about this. We at one of our cocktail histories displayed a copper kettle
Yes.
that we were told was from Prohibition. Discovered it actually was from sauerkraut.
Yes.
Ah.
But not long ago, walking through the red shed, I do believe we discovered the copper Prohibition.
Yes, we did. We sure
Mm.
did.
So that one may come to a cocktail history near you.
Stay tuned. Yes.
Had to throw that out.
Very good. Did you have another one you would like?
Oh,
Well,
wait,
we've got
I'm
the
not-
last one here.
Fancy.
Oh.
This is the dangerous one.
I do want to taste it.
Yeah, yeah. You should taste it. You should.
I didn't like that one, but this one's still my favorite.
Like I said, this one's dangerous.
It's got a weird, like, very alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very alcohol.
It's strong.
It's very strong.
Okay.
I mean, look at the alcohol content on
Oh,
it.
60.2%.
Yep,
I didn't
Woo!
say this about this whiskey bottle. It is 100 proof.
100 proof. There you go. This is 120.
Well, it was medicinal.
Oh, it's medicinal. Yes.
I don't know that I like the smell.
That's okay.
Thank you.
I don't like that one.
No,
I don't like that one.
no, I like this one.
But
Wow, it's
Strong.
really different.
Yes, yes.
I do want to continue with prohibition.
Mhm.
Okay, can I just say though, I kind of
Yes.
like this one.
What?
It's smooth.
Mm-hmm.
It's really smooth.
Well, I feel like there's something about it. The fact that it's the lowest of all.
It's very good.
He likes it.
Mm-hmm.
I do have to ask, does Sarah enjoy Scotch?
Yes, she does.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She works in our library.
Well, so our podcast has rules rule number 1 is we're not allowed to talk about the Scotch once the glasses clink until we get to the end of the podcast. So we're not allowed to talk about the Scotch. But one of the other rules is that our wives are entitled to a glass of that Scotch, whatever we're drinking. So.
I just have to say, I'm not sure I like the word entitled.
What's wrong with the word?
I don't know. It made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
Okay.
All right.
I'm older than you guys, so that just could be my generation.
Do we need to run Sarah some Scotch?
She'll be here at 4.
Okay.
Sarah's the only one of us who's downstairs really
Actually,
working right now.
Doing more. Yes.
And I will give a shout out to Sarah. She has been here this is her 2nd week. She has done a ton of work, and she's still here. I am
Yes.
so happy that it's been a crazy 2 weeks, and our librarian left and kind of left quickly, which Sarah kind of got thrown in quickly and has done a fabulous job.
Yes.
So we're happy she's here.
I want to give another shout out to her because she is tied for the easiest person to teach past perfect to.
Was I second? Am I
No,
tied?
I didn't teach you. Brett and Sarah have
Oh.
been the easiest. He was our intern with our blacksmith shop. Prohibition in Freeborn County was
Gosh, are
very,
you done
very.
with that yet?
No, I'm not. It was a very,
We all
very.
wish Prohibition were done sooner.
I know, right?
It was a very big thing back in the history of Freeborn County. A lot of our leading names were prohibitionists. So we don't have too much about alcohol consumption, I guess, back in the day, because a lot of our leading people they voted on the prohibitionist ticket. And I do want to talk about a guy that came to Bath Township in 1858.
Is that near the Bath Road?
I think so.
Okay.
Probably where the bathrobe goes.
The Bath Road
Buy
goes
it.
to Ellendale.
It goes everywhere. Jacob Bauer was his name. Jacob Bauer, a German, came in the fall of 1858 to Bath Township and planted his stakes in Section 27. But his stay was abruptly terminated by government officers as he was discovered selling whiskey to the Native Americans.
Oh dear.
And he soon left.
Huh.
Yep.
The prohibition thing would be a fun topic, for Freeborn County. We were not as heavily supervised by government like some of our neighboring
Sure.
communities.
The laws were there, but they
Yeah.
weren't necessarily as enforced.
Yeah. And we didn't have, I don't think we've had as much recognition, or, that's not the word I want. My words are not coming quickly. Like for instance, Blooming Prairie
Yes.
is, the history there is they ran hooch to Chicago.
Yes.
I don't think we've got that history here in Freeborn.
At least not documented. Yeah. Or found so far.
One of the driest cities around us, take a guess. The driest city during Prohibition, take a guess.
Around us?
Around us, not in Freeborn.
Oh. Boston?
Ellendale.
Ellendale. Go figure.
It's not Manchester.
The voice from behind.
That was God. Oh goodness, that was a.
So
I
there
was.
was a spread of Scotch.
Yes, and I was going to do a cocktail. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to save that.
Save that.
You're going to come back and do. What am I even going to make? You're coming back to do the silent third. I have to drive home tonight.
Sure.
Wow. I got to go work for like another hour. Sleep on a chair or something. So we'll have to do the silent third and invite him back because he's going to have to bring the scotch because I don't have that at home.
Oh, there you go.
Well, maybe you will now.
Maybe
Probably
more.
not. This hasn't changed my mind. This was monkey shoulder. I can remember that easy.
Yeah.
That I think is my favorite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you didn't mind that one at the
This
end.
one was okay. I would go 1, 2, 3.
All right.
No, no, no.
No, no, no.
I
There you
think mine's like 1, 2, 3.
Oh, interesting. Huh. Well, anyway, thanks for joining us for Michael, Stephanie, Risha in the museum with Scotch.
go.